And good morning, sunshine. Welcome to this show based on mental health, mental strength, and just overall well-being. I'm one of your hosts today, Brandon Lee, alongside my good friend, Carey Pena.
We are so happy to have all of you with us. And we want to talk about what's going down at this very moment. It is a trend, a positive trend, of behavioral health facilities opening all over the nation. Boston, a new treatment facility, Oklahoma, a crisis care center for kids, Kansas, mobile crisis response teams, and right here in the Valley, an organization called Mind 24/7 that is opening up what's akin to an ER for mental health.
Yeah, and you're going to notice it if you live down here in the Valley in Arizona. You're going to notice all these locations popping up. Right now, they just celebrated their 1-year anniversary at Mind 24/7. They have 3 facilities here in the Valley right now that have popped up. I think the most recent one, their main campus, is 24th Street and Thomas. And what's really, really great is that we're seeing all of these mental health care facilities popping up around the country. Some of them actually focused on adolescent care.
Yes.
A lot of that was born out of the pandemic. And the pandemic, for the good and the bad that it brought us all, I think the positive side is it really brought mental health and talking about mental health to the very forefront. And now we're seeing all of these mental health crisis centers opening up, which is wonderful because it's helping to remove the stigma.
That's right.
And also provide a lot of access.
That's what I wanted to touch on with you, Brandon, because you're an advocate in this space. So just, quickly as we open up the show, what do you think is the true significance of this beyond the, removing the stigma, but also access to care?
It is, absolutely, because I think if places like Mind 24/7 would have been around in 2020, I don't think I would have suffered the relapse that I did. Because I started to have a panic attack and my life came crashing down at like 10 and 11 o'clock at night. That's when I did. Well, guess what? My therapist is not on call at 11 o'clock at night. My primary care doctor's not open at 11 o'clock at night. But a place like Mind 24/7 is.
And now we want to welcome to the studio a young man who is a rising star, Nicholas Avalos. He is the developer of Salude que puedes pagar. And you have focused on breaking the language barrier of finding healthcare. And you are the 2022 winner of the Phoenix Business Journal's Healthcare Heroes Award for Community Outreach. So tell us what you have done in this space.
So I created a website, Salud que puedes pagar. It's a website where people can log on, social workers can log on, and they can search for affordable healthcare around the Valley in both English and in Spanish, which is really important since we have lots of low-income Hispanic people in our community. Also, it's a place where people can go find events around that. One event that we have that happened already was free mammograms around the Valley, and I've put that on there, and people can go and find those events. And there's there's some documents that are for low-income healthcare, like a sliding fee scale. So that's what my website strives to be. It's an aggregate of all healthcare in the Valley that's affordable, and so people can find easily.
What did you see the need for, and what inspired you, to come up with something like this?
So my mother is an infectious disease doctor at St. Joe's, and she told me a lot of stories about how a lot of people don't have access to good health care, and it was a problem that was specifically emphasized by the recent pandemic. So my website strived to fill in that problem, to fix the disconnect between low-income families and affordable health care that people receive. We have 10,000 clicks on our website so far. Lots of people have talked to me. In fact, later today, I'm going to be talking to Saving Amy to see if they can work with us and put our website there.
I got to ask you this. What was your reaction when you ended up receiving that award as a healthcare hero?
I was completely surprised. I mean, I was running against, I think, a senator or a district representative, so I was completely surprised that I was the one who got that award. So yeah, I was really surprised.
So having achieved what you've already achieved, where do you want to go from here?
Well, I'll be leaving for college soon, and I plan on applying going out of state. So I really want to make sure that this is something that is here to stay.
Yeah.
So I want to expand this, maybe get other people involved, because it's currently just me, just promoting it and finding clinics to put on the website. So I really want to create a nonprofit and really ensure the success of and the sustainability of the website to keep providing healthcare
And once again, tell people what your website is and just circle back to exactly what they can find on your website.
So my website is a aggregate of lots of resources for low-income families or social workers to find affordable healthcare easily in both English and Spanish through like a searcher that searches the database from the Arizona healthcare.
What's your dream job?
I would definitely want to be a computer scientist, so like someone who works with programming websites.
Yeah, you don't say.
Yeah, stuff like I've been doing with the website, and I really find that like inspiring because I'm able to actually make change, and I'm actually able to invent something that helps people, which I find really motivating.
So just leave people with a final word of inspiration, because you are 17? 17? Okay, so from you to all the folks who are listening, when you saw a problem that you wanted to figure out how to solve, and what can we all learn from your journey and how you've inspired so many people?
If you have a problem you can solve, just do it. There are resources available to learn. I learned through YouTube how to make the website, so yeah, it's 100% possible. Do it. It will make an impact, and it will definitely make others' lives much better.
Wow, that's so inspiring.
Yeah.
It's incredible. I don't even want to
You're
tell you what I was
amazing.
doing at the age of 17, Nicholas, but good on you and good on your family for raising such a great young man who's really helping to make a big difference in the lives of people who live here in our state. And I think that that's something that will live with you. I think sometimes when we live through life, we always want to leave a legacy, right?
That's
We want to leave something behind that will help people. And I think you're already doing that at the age of 17. So well done to you.
Yeah. And now we want to share with all of you our inspired story of the day. I have a podcast called The Next Chapter, and I had an amazing guy come on with me, a friend of Brandon's, actually, Tyler Tisdale, who's the CEO of Pinnacle Peak Recovery. And he talks about his past as a drug addict and a criminal, and how he's turned it all around to become an incredibly successful businessman. Take a look.
You guys are doing such impactful work, and you're able to take those hard lessons that you learned and share them with others.
Yeah, no, it's great. Just want to be clear for my recovery, and I was taught this, is my recovery, like my work and my recovery is separate. So I really make an emphasis on helping others outside of work and like continuing that. And I'm still involved with recovery very much so. So at work, it almost is it's an advantage for me to really focus on what I love to do at work. And that's more of the entrepreneur stuff. I'm the founder, CEO, so I'm very much a visionary. And so I definitely am heavily involved in recovery outside of work. But when I'm at work, I'm more on the business side of things. And a lot of people tell me when I tell them I'm in the drug and alcohol treatment industry, they're like, oh, well, there's a big need for that. There is, it's true. But I'm heavily involved in recovery outside of work because the premise of recovery and how you stay sober is helping others in an altruistic manner. So doing things for others for no profit motive. So luckily, I'm able to have a clear distinction with this, with kind of how it's set up for at work. Is outside of work, I'm heavily involved in the recovery community, working with others. But at work, I'm more on the entrepreneur side. I'm this founder, CEO, very much so a visionary. And also, you know, what we've done over the years, it didn't start like this, but what we've done is really put an emphasis on delegating and elevating. And so what that looks like is finding your strengths and what you love to do. And well, it's a 4-quadrant worksheet. So the top left quadrant is what do you love to do? What are you great at? The second quadrant's what do you like to do? What are you good at? What do you like to do? Or what don't you like to do that you're good at? And what don't you like to do that you're not good at? And so the object of the worksheet is to get everything in the top left quadrant. So you're only doing things that you love to do and that you're great at. And so I've really made a clear distinction on what that is for me. And my grandfather was an engineer. My grandmother and my mom's side are artists. So I kind of have an interesting like DNA makeup. I'm very creative, but I'm also very analytical. But what that looks like for me at work is I love strategy, I love vision, but I also love creating. And so what I do most days is work on our TikTok, work on podcasts, work on socials, just create stuff. And then I'm also very much involved with the strategy and the direction of the company.
So Tyler has become a very good friend of mine over the past couple of years. And obviously we met through the addiction treatment world, substance use disorder world. And he owns an incredible treatment program, Pinnacle Peak, that, you know, he was the founder and the CEO, but he's also a very marketing genius.
Yes.
And has really tapped into that. And like, I look at what he's even done on TikTok just within the past 6 to 8 months.
Yeah.
He'll get views on there that are over 1 million views.
Yes.
But here's what I really love about his leadership style. That when you go to Pinnacle Peak Recovery and you just kind of hang out at their offices and you meet their staff, they're always laughing, they're always in a great mood,
Yeah.
and they're always doing teamwork together, where they're making videos for TikTok, whatever it is. It's the vibe and the culture, and that's so unheard of in the substance use world. In our world of behavioral health, people are usually burned out, they're tired, they hop from job to job. But he's just a great business leader
Yeah.
in how he leads his entire team.
And I love the fact too that he wants to lean into his whole story, and so even though parts of it are embarrassing for him because now he has a really big business success,
Yeah, and he
but
was
he's leaning
swindling
in.
banks
he
at
was
one time in his
swindling
life.
banks,
Yeah.
and he's like, look, I just got to tell the whole story.
Yeah.
So I have so much respect
Gives
for him.
hope.
Yeah. So thanks, Ty, for coming on the show with us. We appreciate you. And now we want to welcome to our show Holly Jinicki, who is the co-founder of True Rest Float Spa for our Mind, Body, Spirit segment. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
We want to talk first about this problem in our nation of sleep deprivation. I mean, obviously, you created this business to give people a moment where they could come in and rest their minds and rest their bodies. But first, talk about just how much, how extensive this problem is.
Yeah, well, I think that it's huge. I think number one, people don't really know how to relax or how to meditate, right? So my husband and I, we do have a meditation background. So we've done that for several years. When we found out about floating, we thought, wow, this is a great way for people to learn how to relax just through floating in the Epsom salts. The water is heated to your skin temperature. So when you're floating in there, after about 20 minutes, you start to not recognize the difference between your body and the water. You're basically floating in space.
Yes.
So imagine the healing that can take place, right? Yeah, you've experienced it before, right?
Yeah, I mean, I actually go to True Rest up in Scottsdale, one of their locations in Scottsdale. And I have to put this out there, like, I do not meditate, and my therapist is gonna be like, why are you admitting that? We need you to meditate. Me of all people, I should be meditating. And I don't do yoga, so I've never been in any of that. And I really didn't know what this was gonna be about, but I'd seen some advertisements for it. I saw that it helped with sleep. And that is one thing, over the course of like my adult life, I've always struggled with sleeping. A lot of that is trauma-based, right? A lot of that is unhealed trauma, right? But I went there, and you're right, it's sensory deprivation, right? That's what we're trying to get to, is sensory deprivation. So I go pitch black. You're right, it's like you feel nothing because the water is your skin temperature, so you don't even feel that, and you're floating in like 6 inches of water or 7 inches of water, something like that. And it's just an unreal sensation that you truly just get lost.
And the fascinating thing is that it's not only working on your body, but it's working on your brain as well.
Yeah.
So it's taking us down from a beta wavelength, which is like what we're talking right now, into theta, which is like a deep meditative state. Children are in this state more often as well, or like a dreamlike state.
Yeah. What is the importance for our mental health of being able to take yourself into that state?
Yeah, so imagine this. Our whole lives, we're being bombarded by all of the stimulus, right? Our cell phones, they're here all the time. The computer is here all the time. When are we actually getting to rest? Even when you're laying down in a bed at night, you're dealing with gravity, right? So when is your body able to rest and heal? It's only when you're in this zero gravity state, right? And once your body gets used to doing that time and time again, like you said, with yoga or meditating, you need to do it a few times, but you're gonna feel like your quality of life is so much better. They're finding about 80–90% of illness is actually stemming from stress. So if you're able to release that through the float pod, you're making an investment in your health and wellness.
That's huge.
It's absolutely huge, and really talking about those brain states. So like right now we're living in a state of beta, right? We're all very frontal lobe. We're having a discussion today. We're filming this show. We've got other meetings later on today. We're always in the state of beta. When I do art therapy, we can actually transcend then into an alpha state. So an alpha state is really, it helps with anxiety and depression, really starts, it's all about your heart rate. We can get that heart rate down. This takes you another level deeper, which is that theta state. So it'll go beta, alpha, and into theta. And that's you're into that, almost getting into that dreamlike state.
It
And that's where
is.
true healing really, really happens.
And that's what's amazing now with the research that's been done at the Liber Institute by Dr. Justin Feinstein. They're actually finding that 1 hour in the float pod, even if you leave the light on, is better than anti-anxiety medication, and it lasts for up to 48 hours with no side effects. With the light off, it's like an antidepressant. Again, no side effects. So it's pretty amazing the research that is coming out that we can start sharing with people, because we see it every day, right? We see clients come into the spa and they're healing their PTSD, depression, anxiety, pain relief, sleeping better. You know, we're seeing them experience it, which is great, but to be able to get that research and to share it with the world is huge.
I understand from our producer that you and your husband really have sought out a variety of healing modalities and wanted to understand things that you believe work, and I assume that's what brought you to buying this business. But talk about sort of your interest in learning more about ways we can heal, and in particular, as Brandon just mentioned, heal our past traumas.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. You know, we actually do a very specific meditation practice it's called Falun Dafa or Falun Gong. And so we started that a long time ago, and we found amazing benefits, you know, and the principles are just truthfulness, compassion, and forbearance, right? Assimilating your heart nature to those things. And through the meditation, there's a Qigong practice that goes with it. But, you know, thousands of people were doing this meditation practice in China. And we just thought, wow, you know, there's something really to this. And actually the cost of healthcare was going down there, you know, at this time. And so the Communist Party at the time said, oh, wow, this is amazing. This is great healing benefits. You know, it's so good. Well, then so many people started doing that, and they weren't able to control it. And so they actually began a persecution against these peaceful people. And so part of our big mission now is a human rights aspect in letting people know about what's happening with this persecution. And so they started persecuting these people for meditating, taking them to the labor camps, trying to get them to stop their practice. Well, a lot of them had healed their cancer and things just from doing this meditation. So they're like, why am I going to quit this? I'm not going to quit this, you know? And so they've gone so far as to do the live organ harvesting. So I don't know if you know much about that. So actually taking their organs from these peaceful people, because they don't drink, they don't smoke, they're very healthy bodies. And so the Communist Party thought, what could we do to do this awful thing? And so they actually harvest the organs of these people, these peaceful meditators, and that's how they're killed. But no one knows about that this is happening, right?
Wow.
And so that's been a big part of our mission, is to really spread awareness of what's happening out here. And we've had a lot of friends that have come from China and fortunately got amnesty here in the US. But yeah, as far as trauma and things like that, you know, there's so much that's happening around our world that we don't even know. You know, we're living in our small box. And so if there's something that we can do, you know, to let people know about what's happening and have people just to be kinder to one another, you know, and to spread that. And so with the trauma, again, what we found through floating is, you know, we discovered that the effects of the meditation can be started to reach through that floating, right? And people who don't even have the meditation background. So if they're able to find some of those healing benefits that way, you know, it's a great, you know, way to get into it. And
How has this personally impacted you, implementing these modalities in your life?
so personally for me, yeah, it's impacted me hugely, you know, on a daily basis. I try to keep up with my meditation practice, but life gets busy, right? I'm not always able to get there, and sometimes it's like I just need to hop in the pod, you know. And so just floating once a week, I typically try to do it once a week, is huge, and the stress just melts away.
Yeah.
You know, whatever you go in, whatever you're worried about, by the time you come out of the float, it's like it doesn't matter anymore.
Yes.
You're like, oh, wait a second, what's my purpose? You know, a lot of people, they come out, they floated in there for an hour, and I go, hey, how did it go? How do you feel? And they're like, I don't know how I feel. You know, it's almost like they've never met with themselves before because they've been so
it's just
distracted.
and what I tell, you know, sometimes you tell people, just take a deep breath.
Yeah.
Right? You're in a stressful situation, take a deep breath. Well, you're taking an hour breath.
Right,
At your
exactly.
rest. And you're telling people, just take a deep breath, get that heart rate back down. Right?
Yeah.
Clear
Yep.
your mind. And so
Be in
it's
the present
essentially like
moment.
take a deep breath but float.
Yeah.
Take a deep
Exactly.
breath
We
but float.
appreciate you. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much
Yes.
for being here
Thank you.
and
Thank
you know
you.
trying to spread more health and healing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's a beautiful mission that you're on. Thank you so much, Holly. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
you. And now stay with us for our sunshine story. We always close out on a sunshine story, and we love this. This is a bit of robotic technology that's helping children with cerebral palsy and various other ailments to walk. And this is an organization based in Phoenix. It's called UCP. I've had the pleasure of doing some work with them. And what they are doing here, this is basically, Brandon, a $300,000 grant that they received from the Diamondbacks and the Thunderbirds to be able to bring this robotic zero-G gait and balance system, which is suitable for children. And it allows them to have that feeling of walking, of
Yeah.
independent walking.
And I think so so many for them, they want that independence. But because of the condition that they're in, right, everybody is always helping them or assisting them in something or another.
Yes.
So it's that one opportunity to give them that freedom of independence, just even for a little bit. It also helps with their own mental health. It gives them confidence
right.
that they can do things on their own. They don't need assistance in every step of life.
Yeah, this is so beautiful, this technology, and the system protects patients from falls while providing dynamic body weight support so that they can practice walking, balance tasks, and sit, stand maneuvers.
Right.
And just as you said beautifully, Brandon, it's also about their mental health and
Yeah.
building that confidence. And actually, one of my friends, Nicole, her daughter was one who was trying this out, and they've also broadcast this on the news to show that her daughter can be there and
Yeah.
can be just like everybody else.
Yeah,
So
and that's what they want to feel.
that's what
You
they
know,
wanna
They want to
feel.
feel like they're just like everybody else. So we do want to let you know, like if you've been watching the show today, I'm curious as to know what segment stood out to you, and do you meditate? You know, what
Yeah.
do you do to kind of calm your mind, calm your
Yes.
body? I think a lot of times when we share that with each other, we can also pick up some new ideas. So let us know what you think about in the comments below.
Yeah, and that's what the show's all about, is bringing different modalities that we hope can help you in your day-to-day life. And we want to thank you all so much for joining us for Good Morning Sunshine.
So you're already here online at YouTube. Go ahead and click that little bell. It's a notification bell. You will be notified when you register for our link. You'll be notified every time we upload a new episode so you don't miss out. From all of us here at Good Morning Sunshine, make yourself a great week.
Take care, everyone.